What's up, guys? Mac D. Today we're at the beautiful Frisco Commons Veterans Memorial here in Frisco, Texas. Today we're joined by Casey McEuin, who was a Sergeant First Class in the Army, 17 years, who is also the President and Executive Director at Project Relo, which we'll get to at the end because I'm sure he wants to tell you all about it. So tell me, what is your favorite fast food restaurant?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Being from California, I'm going to have to say In-N-Out Burger.
Okay, I understand that. What's your favorite item on the menu?
Gotta be the double-double.
Okay, alright, double-double. And then what's your favorite holiday?
Can I count summer as a holiday?
Yeah, we can let that work.
Okay, summer. So the entire summer.
Okay, awesome. And then what's the favorite place that you've traveled to in the United States?
Probably Seaside, Florida.
Okay, and what made it special for you?
That's where my wife and I got engaged, but it's our favorite vacation destination. We go there every year. It's actually just kind of like our little piece away from everything else.
Heck yeah, that's super cool. So why did you join the military? Why did you make that step?
Well, much like you, when I was in high school, I wanted to be something, I wanted to be a part of something bigger than myself. So I started looking at the different services. I was living in a small town in Washington, and I saw a bunch of Marines and a bunch of Navy, and I was like, well, I don't want to stay in Washington. So I chose a branch of service that was going to get me away from Washington, and so I chose the Army. Yeah,
super cool. Whenever you had to leave for training, was it hard to leave for training, or was it easy for you?
I've been an athlete my whole life, so leaving for training was actually more of an excitement for me. It was kind of a nervous excitement. I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Of course.
But because I also joined at a time when we weren't at war, so the anxiety wasn't there. But for me, it was more of a nervous excitement because I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
But I was definitely excited about the challenge.
Yeah, I agree. I can totally feel that. That's what I'm feeling right now. From boot camp and all your trainings, do you have funniest memory?
A funniest memory?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm sure there's a lot of hiccups.
A lot of hiccups, a lot of staged humor.
Yeah.
I would probably say anytime that we were getting ready to roll outside the wire when we were deployed in Afghanistan is we would all be on the radio systems and we'd be just cracking jokes, playing songs, and then we ended up having a dance routine to Call Me Baby. Call Me Maybe.
Yeah.
And we just did that. I mean, it's kind of like broke up all the monotony of everything that we did. So
yeah, just
having fun with the guys and just living life.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Keep the morale up.
Yeah.
What was the hardest obstacle that you faced at basic?
At basic, well, I was put into a leadership position. I was made the platoon leader the very first day, but the drill sergeants, they didn't want to change it, so I ended up being the platoon leader the entire cycle for basic training. So really it was having to step into a leadership role right away, and to meet all the expectations from all the leadership.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know about Army specifically, but I know other branches have the opportunity to graduate up while in boot camp. So did you have a chance to graduate up as an E2 or anything like that?
Yeah, so I actually came in as an E2 because I did have a little bit of college, and I passed the PT test. But I actually graduated as the honor graduate from basic training, so they actually promoted me to E3 from that.
Nice. Work your way up quick. All right, so post boot camp, what was next for you after basic? Where did you go?
I went to Fort Carson, Colorado. I was assigned to the 163rd ACR, which is the Armored Cavalry Regiment. So I went from being a light infantryman to going right into a mechanized unit.
Okay.
And then eventually it shifted over into the 4th Infantry Division.
Okay, and so that was your MOS, was
infantry.
Doing infantry?
Yep.
Okay. And then that's where you went to school. And then what was your first assignment and what did you do there?
Well, my first assignment was at Fort Carson, Colorado. And really my job, I was a gunman. So I was a basic rifleman. I was on pretty much the low level, and then I worked myself up. I was a squad leader within the first year that I was in.
Awesome.
So once I became a squad leader, then my job ended up becoming, I was a tank commander. So I was inside of a Bradley on, being the tank commander with a crew of 4.
Awesome. That's so cool. Did you ever go to any additional schooling? You probably went for every time, for leadership, stuff like that.
Yeah. So I went to all the leaderships. I went to, the Warrior Leadership course, the Professional Leadership Development course, Advanced Leaders and Senior Leaders course. Obviously, I went through recruiting school, and I also went to Air Assault school.
Okay, awesome, super cool. All right, out of the places that you got to travel to, wherever you were deployed, which one was your favorite place?
Out of being deployed, which was my favorite place?
No, just in general. All the places that you travel, even when going to Colorado, you could choose that.
Oh, no. I would probably say the best place that I ever went would probably be Thailand.
Okay.
You know, when we went out there and we trained with the Thai Army, that was a lot of fun, a lot of culture, and it was just a surreal experience to see just like all the big statues, like the big Buddhist statues and everything like that. So it was pretty surreal.
Yeah, I think it's the first for us. Did you get a chance? Well, you were talking about interacting with the natives and the culture there. Did you have any weird, bizarre foods?
Oh man, probably when I was there and I had to eat. They have a delicacy there, which they're little baby crabs that are still alive. You throw them in your mouth and you crunch them up, and then they cut the tentacles off of an octopus. And once you eat it, and it actually tried to crawl out of my throat, it was still alive when I put it in my mouth. So that was pretty bizarre.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, this next question is my favorite one. Was there an act of courage in someone else that you wanted to share? Could have been you firsthand witnessed or just heard about it.
Well, the thing is, being in for so long and then being in during a time of war, you hear so much about acts of courage or acts of selflessness in the military. I saw it all the time. As a platoon sergeant, you see your soldiers doing crazy things all the time. Whether it's, I'm just going to take over somebody's guard duty just because I can see that they're not having a good day. But I mean, during firefights and everything like that, just seeing just the guys in my platoon, how they would just maneuver out and just making sure that everybody's good. I mean, the hero stories are a dime a dozen, and it's like when people say, "Oh, you're a hero." No, I just served with a whole bunch of them.
Right. I agree.
Because every single one I served with was a hero.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. So when you got out, how was adjusting to civilian life for you?
At first, it was tough. It's just because it's the only thing I knew for 17 years. Because you go right in from high school, you spend all your time in school, and that's all you know. Then all of a sudden you go into the military for another 17 years, and then all of a sudden that's all I knew. So transitioning out to the civilian world, it was earlier than I thought it was going to be. I was originally planning on staying in for 20 to 25 years, but after being injured in Afghanistan, I was forced to medically retire at my 17-year mark. So that was difficult for me because I hadn't planned on getting out when I did. So I struggled finding work. I struggled actually just figuring out what I wanted to do next because I couldn't be an infantryman in the civilian world. I thought I wanted to be a cop. I thought I wanted to work for a sheriff's department, but the thing is, my injuries from Afghanistan excluded me from being able to be qualified for that. So that's where I started working in the nonprofit world to start working with veterans and help them get connected with employment. Once I was able to find that, that was actually, for me, that was me serving a higher purpose.
That's great. That's awesome. If you could go back over and start over and do it all again, would you?
Absolutely. Yeah. There'd be nothing I would change about my life.
That's good. That's awesome. What 3 words would you use to describe your military career?
That's a good question. I would probably say memorable. Just a complete honor to serve my country, to be part of something bigger than myself. And I would just say duty, because the thing is that in the duty, it's not just doing the job, it's doing the job correct. And it's something that's carried with me even into the civilian world. And it's something that I've instilled into my kids. And it's those 3 things, you're never going to forget the time that you served, the people that you served with. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so let's dive into Project Relo a little bit. So just tell me, bird's eye view, what is Project Relo, the grand scheme? Yeah,
so Project Relo, it's a national 501c3 nonprofit organization, and what we do is we actually educate corporate America on the value of what a veteran can bring to the company.
Perfect.
Too many companies out there say, I want to hire a veteran because they did some great stuff. Well, it's great, that's wonderful, but we don't want them to hire a veteran because it's the socially correct thing.
Yeah, like out of pity.
Out of pity. We want them to hire them because it's actually good for business. So instead of we educate the companies to let them say, hey, you know what, we don't want to hire the veteran to help them. We want to hire the veteran because they can help us.
Yeah, that's super cool. Can you dive into any specifics? Like, what was the last? Do you do it at conferences? Do you travel around to each business?
Yeah. So what we do is we actually do between 4 and 6. We call them pseudo-military operations, and we bring corporate executives, directors of HR, all the way to the CEO level, and we put them into a military environment. We actually partner them up with a transitioning service member or a veteran, and we actually put them through a 3-day military operation where they're going to be doing weapons training, convoy training.
Oh, cool.
They're going to be out there probing for mines, looking for IEDs. knees. They're going to go assault a town. We put airsoft rifles in their hands, and we make them actually have to do force on force. And we do all of this stuff where you're taking the CEO out of the comforts of their, lush offices, and we're putting them into austere conditions where they're completely out of their element, and they have to rely on the strength, the leadership capabilities, and just the soft skills that veterans have. They rely on them, then they get that bird's eye view of, this is what this veteran can bring to my company. I need more men and women like this in my company to bring my company to the next level.
Why was it important for you to help out? Just because of you had been there and done it, and you saw firsthand when you got out the transition?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest things is, like, when I transitioned out, I wasn't prepared.
Okay.
I wasn't prepared as an individual. And there are 44,000 plus nonprofit organizations out there that are talking about veterans, saying that, veterans need this and veterans need a handout. We're not here to give a veteran a handout. We're giving them a hand up. We want to actually educate veterans, but at the same time educate companies so that these companies aren't trying to victimize the veterans. We don't want them, like, for instance, I talked to a company last week that said they wanted to hire 40,000 veterans in the next year. And I said, that's great, but you only have 400 jobs available on your job board.
Right.
How are you going to create 39,600 jobs and then find the veteran talent to fill those positions?
Yeah.
Don't do this just to get great publicity.
That's awesome. Thank you for your time. Thank you for service.
Absolutely.
God bless you, sir. Thank you.